Hey, Mr. Joe, we're here at this lake looking for big consumers, you know, big predators. Do you see any? Oh, I saw a bird fly by just then. What do you see?
I saw a blue heron just land over here, and he was gorgeous and large. And I think he's pretty much at the top of the food chain too. He loves to eat fish.
Oh, wow. So where did you see him?
I saw him right over here.
I'm going to point it in this direction and see if we can see him.
That's amazing. But I can't see him anymore.
He's a big bird, Mr. Joe.
How can we miss him, Mr. Randy? I saw him land.
Saw him land, but I didn't see him fly away. There he is, standing still, really still. Mr. Joe, there he is. There he goes. That is a beautiful bird. So there he goes. And he is landing on the other side of the lake. So that's a consumer, and he consumes fish.
Yes.
So in the food chain, he's pretty much at the top.
I think, Mr. Randy, you're exactly right. He's the top of the food chain. Because if you look at it, we have minnows eating algae. We have little fish eating minnows, larger fish eating those fish, and this guy eats big fish.
Yeah. And maybe even lizards and snakes and stuff like that too, and frogs.
You're right, Mr. Randy.
These guys can eat just about anything. Hey, Mr. Joe, look at those minnows.
Wow, there must be a million of them.
You know, speaking of the food chain, those minnows are an important part of the food chain. They eat algae, little bitty pieces of plants that are in the pond and the lake, and they get bigger, and other animals eat them. So they're the basic part of the food chain. Hey, Mr. Joe, I see another top predator at the lake.
Wow, he's a beautiful white bird. Is he called an egret, Mr. Randy?
He is, Mr. Joe, and he is one of the bigger birds in Florida. Not as big as the heron, but this is a really good top predator. What does he eat?
I think he has a very similar diet to that heron. I think he goes for fish, frogs, insects,
Snakes,
yep.
lizards if he can get them. Wow, that is a beautiful bird, Mr. Joe.
Totally agree, Mr. Randy.
Mr. Joe, we're getting closer now to this heron, and he is just gorgeous.
Look at the size of his beak. That thing's got to be 6-7 inches long.
I mean, they use it like a spear, I guess. Do you think, or not? I guess I don't really know.
I've seen him pick fish up and hold them between those jaws and watch them digest. They're really, really an efficient fish-eating machine.
Wow. It is such a big bird, and it's beautiful, and it can stay so still. So this is the top predator in this lake, unless, Mr. Joe, there is an alligator. Do you think we might see an alligator around here?
The sign says there's gators in this lake.
Well, I am fine with not seeing a gator.
Me too, Mr. Randy.
Wow, that is such a beautiful bird, Mr. Joe. Okay, so now we're even closer to Mr. Heron, and I just think we're so lucky to be able to see an animal like this. It really doesn't have very many enemies at all. I'm sure that a bobcat or a Florida panther or an alligator might eat it, but there's not very many things that prey on a bird that big. It's right at the top of the food web, don't you think, Mr. Joe?
Absolutely. And if he wants to get away, he'll just fly away.
Yeah, that's right.
They got to have an amazing vision, right?
Right. They can see underwater. I mean, they can see the fish in the water, and they. Let me see if we can see him try for something. That would be so cool. Oh, he got it. Way to go. I think that this lizard is interested in these ants. Watch. He jumped down there. Lizards will eat ants. And I think this lizard is interested in lunch, but he gets down there and there's just a little bit too many ants to make it easy for him. So he jumps down and then he has jumped back out real quickly. Maybe he'll jump down again and go ant hunting because the ants are all stirred up. See, he's watching. He's watching. There he goes. He's thinking about it. So I think he grabbed an ant. I think he grabbed an ant. See, he's looking for ants. And now he's hiding it. Now he's coming back out. How cool is that? Ant hunting with a lizard. Frogs are amazing creatures. They're amphibians, which means they need a lot of water. Their skin has to stay moist. Frogs are also consumers, and they consume other animals like insects. They're predators. They're very, very wonderful creatures.